residency interviews can be very tricky in the sense that you can look at the interview as a test, like the program is testing you to see if you are a good fit for them. You can also decide to look at it as a dialogue where you are assessing the program to see if it's good for you. At the same time, the program is also assessing you to see whether you are good enough for them. And most programs do this irrespective of your application. So some of them do not look at your application. They want to know you, who you are, other than your application. Say they will not look at your score to judge you, so that they don't have any idea about who you are. So you have to present yourself to them. But some of the programs also will have an idea about who you are, so they'll end up reading your application to you, and they'll tell you to add something that you did not highlight in your application, what else they should know about you. In this video, I'm going to bring you questions that you can ask the programs, and also you can also ask your chief residents that you'll be interviewing with, and in that way you'll be better prepared. This particular video will be mainly about questions that you can ask the chief resident. You want to watch the second video also on the questions that you can ask the program director and faculties as well. So I'll put the link in the description of this video, and then you can watch that as well. But before I go into this video, I want to just throw some little light on how you should prep for the interview. At least try to read about the program, make consultations with people who have interviewed the program in the past, residents who are currently in the program, and make connections with them, so that any information that is important about the program, they can tell you. You want to appear decent. You don't necessarily have to be in like official wear or something. Like there are about some programs that I interviewed with them with my work scrub, but you just have to look like okay, you know. Don't go and buy too expensive clothing just to appeal to somebody. You should also have a good lighting system. If your camera is not the best, then you want to get some ring lights, you want to get some table lights, you want to get just good lighting so that they see you very well. And that also helps, like if you're interviewing and your face is dark and everything, like, you know, like the lighting in the environment, the room is dark, they cannot really see you well. You want to be able to interact, you want to look straight into the camera, which is very important because you want to maintain an eye contact, you know. So these are some of the points, but I will dedicate a video for that. Let's look at some of the questions that you can ask the chief resident that will help you to know more about the program. And depending on the answers that they give you, you can tell if this program will be a good fit for you or not. Remember that you can repeat some of these questions when you meet with the faculties or the program directors too. So you want to know what kind of support system the program and faculty gives to the residents. So you ask them what kind of support do they get from the faculty. And of course, going into every residency program, you need that support to succeed in personally, and also to succeed in your career goals. Now, you want to ask them why they ranked this program, because you are also going to make a decision, right? And so you want to ask them, why did they rank this program? There are several reasons why people rank the same program. Some could be due to geographical location, and some also could be due to the fact that their spouses are in the same program. So people have different reasons. Try to ask them why they rank the program. Now, next is what's one thing that you wish you knew about the program? Very important. Like before you came into the program, you didn't know everything, but once you got into the program and then you meet certain things that might be surprises to you, you want to ask the residents what thing do they wish they knew about the program before coming. Indirectly, you are asking them what are some of the surprises that greeted them when they got into the program. Now, next is what the work schedule looks like the call schedule. How does it look like? You want them to describe like a typical day at their job for you. very, very important. You want to know who makes the schedule. You want to know the inputs, like do residents have the chance to input into the schedule, or is the schedule imposed on them? You want to know the amount of holidays that they can have in a year. You want to know like how many days they work in a week. You want to know how, like if they have a maternity leave or a parental leave, like how does that work with the program? So these are very important questions that you want to ask. And you also want to know whether the program has some non-clinical responsibilities, like if they do some research work, if they do some projects, if they do writing conferences and all that, you want to know about it. You also want to know whether the program is doing well on the boards. This question mainly should be for the faculty and also the program director, but you can also ask the chief president how they are getting ready for it, because definitely they will be the next to write the board. So you want to know how the program helps them in preparing to pass the board exams. You want to also know what the residents do for fun. Like, do they meet to maybe do some activities outdoors? Do they play football, or do they play soccer? Do they go climbing mountains? Do they go on trips and all that? Next thing that you want to ask the program is their step 3 policy. For example, if you are someone who has not taken step 3 yet, you want to know their policy. And during your interview with the faculty and the program director, you want to be able to also chip this in, that currently you are studying for step 3 if you have not yet written it, or if you've done it, this is the time to tell them that, hey, before my application I didn't do step 3, but I have done it now. You can send an email to update them as well. Very important. Now, one more question is, where does most of your learning come from? Very important. You want to ask them, the residents, where most of their learning come from. Is it from the bedside? Is it from the classroom? Is it from the feedback that is given to them? This is very important. So also you want to ask if they feel at home, if they feel like they are in a program versus they are just passing through. Do they feel that the program environment is welcoming to them? That's very important to personal growth. Now, another question that you want to ask is whether they get the opportunity to do hands-on, procedures like focus ultrasound. Very important. You also want to ask whether they get a chance to do some bedside procedures like lumbar puncture, if they get the chance to do something like thoracentesis, paracentesis, and all that's very important. If that is important to you, you can also tell them to talk about the strength of their program and whatever highlights that they know about the program, and if there are any changes that they anticipate. Very, very important. You want to talk about it. Now, one question that I usually ask is how happy they are. On a scale of 0 to 10, they should rate how happy they are in the program, and that will tell you that how happy, or to give an idea how happy you are going to also be. You want to ask them whether they have enough autonomy to make decisions for the patient, or it's very important. Most programs will allow more autonomy going to the 2nd and 3rd year of residency. So that is very necessary. You want to tell them about, you want to talk to them about the program structure, like the inpatient clinics and outpatient clinics. They can talk about that also. You can also ask about patient demographics and also patient population. Very important that you know those things. You can also ask about the languages that are mostly spoken by the patients. That really helps you to know exactly what you are going to face when you go into a residency. You can also ask about the workload of the residents from PGY1 to PGY3, know the number of patients they are allowed to take. You can also ask about how their team is put together. Some programs allow you to take your patient from the word go. Some programs also put you in a team where you have maybe 2 PGY1, 1 PGY2, and 1 PGY3. and also a faculty. So you have to ask about this to know which works better for you. One thing that is also very important for you to ask is life in the city. Like they have to talk about how they see the city. Is it a small city? Is it a bigger city? There are some people who want to live in a small city. Some people want to live in a bigger city. So you want to know about that. You want to know about the cost of living in the city, food and rent. Now, talking about the rent, you can also ask about how far the residents live from the hospital and whether you can get an accommodation that is closer to the hospital or is far away. Some programs give incentives for your rent. Like I know a program that can provide rent, the ballot, and about 15 people are able to win free rent for the first year of residency. Some programs will also give you maybe like a percentage of your rent every month. So you want to ask all these questions. You want to ask about insurance. You want to also ask about food. It's very important to ask about food, the kind of foods that are served in the cafeteria. Is it free? I know programs that give free food to residents. Some programs also will give you some money on your badge that you can use to buy anything you want. So you want to talk about all that's very important when considering a program. So these are some of the things that you can ask the residents or the chief residents when you meet with them during the social events that are organized. Thank you for watching this video. Kindly subscribe and check the next video for questions that you can ask the faculty and the program director. I'll see you again in future. Bye and good luck in your journey.